career is a big myth. Career is a big myth. And I was like surprised to note that point. And he narrates an incident that about an Australian who he met a couple of years back. This Australian, he started his career as a postman. And while working, he does some diploma course and become a plumber, which is of high demand there in Australia. But his learning doesn't stop there. He continues learning, completes his engineering. And after a while, his fascination grows to law and eventually become the state attorney of Queensland. And then he became the country head because of the passion in politics. So when our collector bro meets this person, he was for a lecture in India. He was working as a professor in one of the universities in Australia. And the best part of it is that he identified himself as a pianist, because during the weekend, he does a lot of piano concerts. So that, the relevance of this theme of do what you love, doing it takes a lot of thing, and this theme really struck me a lot. And especially from the TMOD being my ex-com buddy as VPPR, has made it today an excellent topic that could connect to all the audience across. Before I pass on to the meeting to TMOD, Ramesh, today we have an interesting thing that our Toastmaster DTM Thomas sir will be completing his pathway, and also I would like to invite some of the guests if there are any. Do we have any guests?
Hi, this is
yes. Hi, Venkat.
Hi.
Yes, please introduce yourself, and I think.
Hi, I'm Venkateshan. I'm working with Tata Consultancy Services in Chennai, and my journey or my entry into Toastmasters is kind of a surprise to me, because I inquired for my son, and I joined as a guest 3 months back to put him into Medley for Toastmasters. And I got interested in this club, and just last month I enrolled myself, and I'm here to join as an active member, but I'm eagerly waiting for it.
Excellent, Venkat. I think Ramesh, as a VPPI, you got an excellent testimony for the Medley. Welcome, Venkat, for this excellent meeting that we are having with Dynamic Club, Dynamic Leaders Forum in Chennai. Now, let's put our hands together and welcome my ex-com buddy as Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan. Over to you.
Thank you, Presiding Officer Toastmaster Rahul, for your warm introduction. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. I welcome you all to the joint meeting of Medley Toastmasters and Dynamic Leaders Forum Club.
Hello, Dinesh. Hello, how are you, Dinesh? Can you join, Dinesh?
It's going to be an exciting session today, as Ranga is trying to pull more people on this club. We have an array of speeches, table topics, and a general evaluation. Today's theme is do what you love doing. There is a saying that if you choose to work which is dear to you, you don't have to work even for a day in your lifetime. Let me tell a cutie story, pay attention, listen to me. Yes, I work for an MNC as an offering manager. Last year, there was an opening for senior offering manager for a different team. Last 4 months, I'm going through the interview process. In the meantime, I was assigned for a Medley 600 milestone meeting. We collected a lot of voices of Medleyans. I edited all the videos and I learned a new skill of video editing. A couple of weeks back, incidentally, we had an urgent need from my office to collect the customer testimonial for one of the important annual sales kickoff. I leveraged all the skills what I learned. I influenced a channel partner at Belgium, and I come out with a sweet and short video in a matter of 2 hours. This helped me in getting the Bravo Award from my manager. Again, luckily, on that same day, I was going through the final round of my interview. I shared the Bravo Award appreciation to the interviewer. Who knows? This could be one of the reasons for me getting selected. And I'm happy to share with you that I've also received an offer letter for my new role yesterday. The bottom line is, although I played a small role in Toastmasters, it helped me in achieving career progression in my profession. I encourage all the participants to use the theme of the day, do what you love doing. In today's segment, we have 4 segments in this meeting. Prepared speeches number 1, table topic session number 2, number 3, general evaluation, and it's going to be the final surprise session. In my view, Toastmasters International has given utmost importance to the general evaluation. The quality of every session is being ensured and as a Zen, a continuous improvement process only through effective evaluation. In simple terms, it is something like Vijay Sethupathi role in Master movie. You might have seen, not a character role, but giving importance to a role. To play this general evaluator for today, we have a role model for me. Toastmaster Kalyan. He is our Tala of Medley Toastmasters, a past president of Medley, Toastmaster and past division director. You name anything that is interesting, he loves doing that. Please join your hands and welcome Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you very much, TMOD, for that. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kalyan. As the TMOD introduced, I'm going to be your general evaluator for today. Personally, this role is a role I love to do. Any meeting, if those days there used to be a CL manual, most of the time when I just cross-check what is the meeting roles I would run, general evaluator role is a role I have always played maximum number. It is only because this is where a lot of learning happens in this particular role. Why? Because now, how many of you started evaluating me? Okay, who is Kalyan? What had happened? What TMOD done? This is what Toastmasters is all about. Toastmaster, we personally in our life, we evaluate everything. Let you go to a film, you evaluate. Now, how many of at the back end, somebody will be processing, okay, what did Ramesh said? What is happening? That is again an evaluation. How this particular evaluation gets improved is not only on the speeches, everything, any role in everything. We evaluate in our personal life. We all miss one particular thing. Somehow after becoming Toastmasters, we forgot why we came into Toastmasters. We have come into Toastmasters to improve our personal skills so that we can just go apply that outside our world, which Ramesh stands as a testimony today. Precisely which role enhances your role as your individual capacity as a Toastmasters. To me personally, the evaluator role and the general evaluator role, it gives you what you are and where you are. Coming to the meeting today, I have 2 teams to help me in my process. As a general evaluator, I'm going to be the watchdog for this particular meeting. I'm going to tell you, hey, look, this is where you went wrong. This is what it should have been this way, whereas this is what exactly should have happened. I'm not alone. I'm assisted by 2 teams. I always say I have 2 different teams. One is going to be an objective team, another is going to be a subjective team. My objective team is the tag players. Tag, as the acronym goes, Toastmasters is full of jargons, right? TOEMOD, GE, tag. Tag, as the acronym goes, like timer, R counter, and grammarian. Today, the timer for today is from Medley Toastmasters. She's Sharanya. Toastmasters gives us a beautiful opportunity to grow. Sharanya came as a very, very naive person, and today she is just becoming a star of Medley Toastmasters. Sharanya, as a timer today, can you just explain to us what your role is going to be?
Thank you, General Evaluator. So, good afternoon, Toastmasters and guests. As timer, I will time the table topic speakers, formal speeches, and evaluations. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow, and red background, which denotes specific time remaining. For speeches should be from 5 to 7 minutes of length. So at 5 minutes, I'll raise the green background. So this will be the background. At 6 minutes, it will be yellow. And at 7 minutes, I will display the red background. For table topic speakers should limit their remark not more than 2 minutes. So at 1 minute, I will show the green background. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I'll show the yellow background. And at 2 minutes, I'll display the red background. For evaluators, it should be between 2 to 3 minutes. At 2 minutes, I'll raise the green background. At 2 minutes 30 seconds, I'll display the yellow background. And at 3 minutes, I'll display the red background. Thank you, Toastmasters. Over to you.
Thank you, Taima Sharanya. Now I'll have the next person in my objective team, that is the R counter. The R counter today is being done by Dynamic Leaders Forum, Toastmasters Snehalata. Snehalata is a technical officer by profession. She says she enjoys small activities and then she cherishes spending time with her daughter. Snehalata, can you just tell us what your role going to be today?
Thank you, General Evaluator. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. As the R counter today, I'll be listening to each one of you very carefully. The purpose of the R counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch or pause fillers by anyone who speaks here. During the meeting, I'll be looking for overused words including and, well, but, so, and you know, I mean. I will also listen to filler sounds like repeated words or phrases such as I. As fellow Toastmasters who have a penchant for speaking, do what you love doing, but please avoid the crutch and filler words. At the end of the meeting, I shall submit my report when called upon by the General Evaluator. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Snehalata. This is the first time I'm getting a very innovative R counter introduction. Thank you very much for that. Now let me get on to the next person in my team, the grammarian, Ajita. I asked Ajita, what is she doing? Ajita comes with a varied of experience. If I will cut out of time, I'll get a red card if I read the listing of what Ajita has done. To put it very short, what I liked, I'm just saying, she's a teacher by profession, and then she works with students to energize herself. This particular two things which triggered me. I just wanted to introduce Ajita as a grammarian and a multifaceted personality. Ajita, can you just tell us what you're going to do today?
Thank you, General Evaluator, for that stupendous introduction about me. Being the grammarian of today's meeting, it's my sole responsibility to introduce the word of the day. The word of the day is penchant, P-E-N-C-H-A-N-T, penchant, meaning a strong liking for something. Usage, he has a strong penchant for writing fictional stories. Would someone like to try this in a sentence? Any volunteers? No?
I think I would like to volunteer. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ramesh, and I think Toastmaster Jagan. They have a penchant for creating anthems for Toastmaster clubs.
Thank you so much, DTM Manju Manohar. Secondly, I would like to introduce the idiom of the day. You all know what an idiom is. Language. So in order to add color to our language, I'm just going to introduce the idiom of the day, take a liking to, meaning to develop fondness for something or someone. Usage, I never used to like onions as a kid, but I've taken a liking to them as I've grown older. So I would like you all to use the word of the day and the idiom of the day in today's meeting, as well as in everyday English. Besides that, I'm all ears to hear your good and not so good usages. I'll be noting down that and I'll be furnishing my report at the end of the meeting when called upon by the General Evaluator. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Ajita. That is Ajita as a grammarian from Dynamic Leaders Forum today. Now, let me hand over the podium stage back to the TMOD. Before that, I would request the Zoom master to mute everybody, and will also request people who are just coming in, you can unmute and then speak so that it's much easier and doesn't disturb the proceedings of the meeting. Over to you, Ramesh, the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Are you all ready for the roller coaster ride now? Getting on to the prepared speech session. May I get some reaction in the tool, Zoom? Our first speaker is Pranav Darshan. He is a business development professional and he loves analyzing sports games and players. To evaluate his speech, I would like to call Toastmasters Suresh Medley to read out the speech objective.
Good afternoon. The speaker is going to do his project from the Pathway Manual Leadership Development, Level 4, Project 1, Leading Your Team. The purpose of the project is to lead a small team towards the completion of a project. The purpose of the speech today is to share some aspects of his experience leading a team. Back to you, TMO.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suresh. As I was mentioning in my Kutti story that we did a lot of work in the Medley 600 milestone meeting, we did some small skit called the Certified Toastmasters. He played a very lead role in that skit, and any assignment from Medley Toastmasters, all Medley girls wanted to associate and work with this guy. Toastmaster Pranav Sudarshan, the virtual chair Pranav Sudarshan.
Thank you, Ramesh. So is my audio and video clear?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. So before I start, how many of you here believe in teamwork? Just raise your hand. Okay. See, there is a funny saying that says teamwork is essential. Now, I know it's essential for success and everything, but you know what? Any failure happens, it allows you to blame and point fingers at each other, according to me. But jokes apart, I believed in the importance of teamwork recently when I played the role of a contest chair. Good afternoon, everyone. You know, it was in the month of August that I got this email about the humorous and evaluation speech contest, and they wanted a contest chair. So I saw that and I was like, you know, let's not take up such time-consuming roles. And, you know, so let's just be a mere spectator and enjoy the speeches. That evening, DTM Thomas sir sends me a message and says, Pranav, can you do the contest chair role? Initially, I was very reluctant. I told him, sir, please give me some time. Okay. And then after a while, he motivated me and said, you have what it takes to pull this off. And you have my support also. So don't worry. Then it took some confidence and I was like, okay, let me go ahead and do this. Let's take it up as a challenge. And then Thomas sir and Raghu, we all created a WhatsApp group and we started laying the groundwork for the contest. So I went into operation mode. 3 things I had to do. One was create a checklist of all the important tasks that I had to do before the contest and during the contest. Number 2 is team selection, very crucial for a leader. And number 3 is execution of that task. That is also a huge thing. And then I contacted the chief judge because chief judge knows the ins and outs of a contest, right? So I contacted her and told her I'm doing the contest chair role. And she was like, it's okay. You have my support. An online contest, it's new for everyone. But just make sure you communicate everything as a leader, as a contest chair to both contestants and the role players. Immediately, I created a WhatsApp group for both groups and I started sharing materials very relevant to them and also reaching out to them every now and then if they had any doubts, which I could clarify to the best of my ability. Then came team selection. See guys, more than teamwork and everything, you know what? It's important to select a group with whom you can work. According to me, I don't care if you fail. For me, you put your 100%. What happens at the end is okay. That is all I'm looking to. And in Medley, we are all ever ready guys, aren't we? Medleyans will agree with me. So a couple of people came to my mind who are serious and who would do the job when given. The first person was Mona Sundaram. I know this fellow will definitely do a task 100%. Okay, doing a timer role in a contest is not a joke. And the second one, Pavitra Sridhar. Okay, she was another sharp and young lady. She took the role of a tally counter, which is also very crucial. Number 3 was the contest masters. You know, we have Sundaresan sir who was in this call. He brings with him a wealth of experience in Toastmasters. Okay, so I wanted people who were professional when it came to contests, and Dinesh also. And finally, Toastmaster Ranga, another ever-ready person, our current VP, he did the role of an SAA. Now, next what happened? My team is ready. Okay, I thought I was set for everything. Initially, when I was given this contest chair role, one of the reasons why I took it was I thought since everything is online, I don't need to arrange for food, logistics, or arrange for a location or anything. But the challenge was everything has to be done through Zoom and everything has to be done online. Okay, this is a big challenge for me. And the chief judge told me, you need to go through some of the contest manuals and understand the flow of a contest. I went through that and my head started spinning. Okay, so I immediately contacted the contest judge and told her, okay, people are confused. Let's do something. Let's arrange for a trial run so that we are all on the same page. Okay, because it's serious if some person gets disqualified due to some glitch or some bug. And immediately we arranged for a trial run. Everyone came. I contacted and coordinated with the whole group of Medley, and people were relieved after that. Okay, we had an idea of what to do. Now another twist comes. Okay, the next twist is all of you know in evaluation contest that only the contestant who's giving the evaluation has to be in the room. Everyone else has to be outside. That's what the essay is there for. How do we ensure that in an online Zoom meeting? There came this feature called a breakout room, a confusing feature. Okay, you put all the contestants who are not giving their evaluation in a separate room because they're not supposed to see that as per contest rules. And the essay Toastmaster Ranga had been assigned to take care of that. Because if one contestant came out from the breakout room to the contest room, the chief judge told me strictly, we will cancel the entire contest. And I was like, no way I'm doing a contest chair role after all this again, repeat mode. Okay. So after that day of the contest came, it was like D-Day for me, like doomsday. Okay. I have never been this tense, even before my exams or job interview. Probably on the day of my marriage, I would be this tense. Okay. I assure you that. So the evaluation contest started. And Ranga and I were like super nervous. Okay, we wanted those 30 to 45 minutes to go as quickly as possible because a humorous contest is very straightforward. This breakout room is required only in evaluation. Okay, so both of us were like these nervous people constantly on the phone, contacting each other and coordinating as to which contestant has to come next. Okay, and to my relief, it all went well. No glitches or whatsoever. Not one Medleyan got disqualified. That was what I was most happy about. Okay, the event was a grand success, guys. Now, I would like to share some of the takeaways and challenges that I faced as a contest chair that would prove beneficial for future contest chairs during virtual events. The first one, teamwork is important, but choose team members with whom you can work well, okay, who will not back out and who will not complain, who will give their 100%. And next one, communication is very important. Look, we are not in person. Okay, we are all virtual, sitting in our houses. How important is it to message, to call, okay, to inform? If anyone loses their internet connection, immediately I had to give a call and arrange for a backup. Communication is vital, and clear communication all the more. And now we are dependent on Zoom, right? All of us require Zoom for the contest to go well. Make sure you're well prepared. Okay, even from my end, I was nervous if I would lose internet connectivity, but I made sure that for every role, there was a backup. That is most important. And to conclude, I have to say, as I said earlier, I realized the importance of teamwork in this very event phase. And I was fortunate to have a wonderful team who was so tractable and easy to manage with. I thank all of you for your support during those times. Thank you, and over to the TMOD Ramesh.
Thank you, Pranav Sudarshan. You met the Ulaganayagan role today, a true leader. Nice to see a great speech from you. In that same school where you learned the leadership, I met the principal from there, and he is going to come as a next speaker to evaluate his speech. I would like to call Durga, Toastmaster Durga Balasubramaniam, to evaluate speaker 2, to read out the speech objective.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Today, DTM Thomas Abraham sir is attempting level 5 project, the milestone project on reflect on your path. The purpose of the project is for the member to reflect on his or her growth during the completion of an entire speech. The timer, please note, the time allotted is 10 to 12 minutes. All the very best for you.
Thank you, Toastmaster
Over to you,
Durga. Thank
Priya.
you. Thank you, Toastmaster Durga. Our next speaker is DTM Thomas Abraham. He is a former senior vice president, Induja Group, and special director, Ashok Leyland, former PR manager, District 82, former lecturer in public speaking and debate to undergraduate class. He sought and secured a career where he could do what he loves most and gets paid for it. The story which I mentioned for my personal success, one of the reasons could be from the trust what he made for the Medley 600th meeting. I'm very happy associated and then working very closely with DTM Thomas. DTM Thomas Abraham, the real voyage of discovery does not consist on seeking lands, new lands, but in having new highs. The real voyage of discovery does not consist on seeking new lands, but in having new eyes. DTM Thomas Abraham, over to you.
Sir, you're on mute.
Thank you very much, Ramesh, and both the Rameshes for the introduction and for the alert. When Pathways was introduced in 2018, I put up my hand to be a guide and guided 8 clubs. Pathways was then a black box. No one knew what was inside it. Yet we had to explain it and inspire Toastmasters to embrace it. Thanks to the overwhelming feedback from the guides, today Pathways is such an open book. You can even get a certificate for completion without doing a project. Just between you and me, provided there is a pliable VPE. Don't try it, please. Warning there. Good afternoon, dear Toastmasters and guests. What is the objective of Pathways? The legacy system made us better speakers. Pathways seeks to make better business executives. It is seeped deep in the workplace. Pathways challenges us to plan and conduct online meetings, panel discussions, events, PERT charts, financial projections, risk management. It would sound as if you are in the office. Now visualize this. The boss says, hey, we need to organize a franchisee meeting with breakaway rooms. You put up your hand. Your friends are wondering how. The boss himself says, how come this guy who joined 9 months back already knows what I learned only a year ago? Fact is, as you heard from today's Toastmasters, Pathways is accelerated learning. It's also, as Ramesh prophesied, potentially the path to accelerated promotion. Are you ready to take it? Provided we acquire new skills and benefit by doing the project seriously, not by winning the ribbon using rhetorical devices and flourishes. Pathways will deliver the full benefit once all of us, the speaker, the evaluator, the mentor, and the audience recognize the difference between the Pathways objective, rather the project objective, and the speech objective. I delivered 3 types of speeches with some overlap: life stories, educational speeches, and experimentations, significantly 1 project. As I recount each, if any of you recall any of those speeches, please put up that hand signal so I will know what you know and what you don't. Life stories. I delivered my icebreaker in June 2018. It was titled Never Too Late, Never Too Early, which in my view defines me. In my level 2 body language project, I narrated the story, my desperate hunt for a bed for that night in the German village of Hanover. My introduction to mentoring project was an act of voluntarism. How? On 23rd March 2020, our first ever online meeting, when all the speakers dropped out, I delivered that speech. John was the other brave heart. Then, when Karanjit dropped out with just 2 hours to go for our joint meeting with CNA Toastmasters of Sri Lanka, I delivered one of my better speeches, which I called Carpe Diem seize the moment. For my communication style project, I had my PPTs ready for the meeting at IITM. Last moment, Krishna Kishore's laptop goes on a strike. Oh my mental crutches taken away. I managed because that speech essentially consisted of 3 episodes from my life, each supporting one prominent communication style. My keynote speech was about what I know best, my career lessons with lots of echoes with Ramesh's story. Friends, remember, life is the greatest storybook and the greatest story mind. Dip into it. Second was educational speeches. What will people say if the president delivers 3 prepared, education speeches in close proximity? Misuse of power. Therefore, I used 3 of my project speeches to deliver my messages on what I strongly believe in. I've heard people say body language accounts for 55% of speech impact, right? Wrong. Professor Murabian only said more than words and voice. Body language will tell you if somebody is bluffing or not. I use my level 1 project on research to tell this point. Second, trim and efficient Medley meetings was our focus goal last term. Therefore, I used the Q&A project in level 4 to explain how to cut slack and boredom. I shared my eternal gospel on speechcraft in the dealing with a difficult audience project, namely 3 messages: dealing, speech preparation, and speech delivery. 2, study the manual, do the project, and then draft the speech. Lastly, consult the mentor, finalize the thesis statement, the sum total, and then get into drafting. My toughest assignment was the lesson learned project. Only Ramesh Murugan and myself could attend most of the Medley 600 planning meetings. 2 people in a planning meeting, bad idea. Worse still, my idea was perfection, 100%. Ramesh came with his motto of fun, not just in delivery, but even in preparation. You can imagine. It is not easy to reconcile your own convictions with your colleague's viewpoint, right? But the review meeting also, we only had the 2 of us. Never mind. We evaluated Medley number 600 and agreed upon improvement ideas for future Medley meetings, demonstrating that 2 mature people can differ and yet collaborate and co-create. So, what did I learn? Plenty, I guess. Most of them unconsciously, like breathing. 3 of my big learnings came from 2 failures and 1 plan. 1, my level 1 project 2 was an experiment that failed. I wanted to demonstrate how conflicts arise in society. So like Narada and today's modern media, social media villains, I tried to provoke fans of Kamala Hassan and Rajnikant to attack each other. But it failed because Kalyan was on one side and nobody wanted to contradict. Worse still, I had to repeat this failed charade incorporating recommendations. Here is a tip. For your level 1 project 2, pick a topic you can flip-flop like the dosha. First time you say that the chicken came first. Second one, you say, no, the egg. See, how can we bore the same audience with the same speech and the same conclusion twice? Have a heart. Second tip, in debate, get 2 Kalyans, 1 for either side. Learning 2 was from my active listening project. I chose to do the TT master role instead of a speech because those days, remember, unlike now, speech slots were in short supply. Guru's feedback. He said, I was busy taking down notes like a clerk, noting every word that the speaker said to deliver that remarks at the end, which is required in the project. In the process, he told me I ignored the speaker, didn't even look up to him. Leave aside nodding and encouraging. How cruel in retrospect. Learning 3 was by design. I tend to argue vehemently about things I strongly believe in, and I forget to smile. So I chose to do dealing with a difficult audience project to practice how to handle compulsive disruptions with grace and counter arguments with calm. The lesson? Remember, on the other side of the argument is someone like you, human, who is entitled to his opinion. So fundamental, so universal, so indispensable any democratic society. Friends, the last 18 months have been eventful. I earned my DTM. I handled 3 XCOM roles. I picked up 6 Best Speaker ribbons. And I had 3 podium finishes at the division level. First time in evaluation with Priya around and now Jagan, it's not easy. First time in division humorous, couldn't believe it, helped by my body language project where I consciously broke my inhibitions of an otherwise formal personality with some histrionics. My second entry in TT into 2020, there were no contests at all. I could well have been the district champion, the closest I ever got to that. Nice feeling. To summarize, allow me to borrow from the French writer Proust, the real voyage of discovery does not consist in seeking new lands, but in having new eyes. Dear Toastmasters, I wish each of you that thrill of traversing new terrains with varied flavors and experiences and an accelerating climb up to the summit. There, with fresh breeze on your face, as you enjoy the feeling, you can thank the Toastmasters who saw you through the Pathways journey, as I do now, with heartfelt gratitude. Thank you, my mentor, the XCOM, the role players, the evaluators, and you, the empathetic Medleyans, who applauded me all the way and encouraged me all the way. Over to you, Tita Modi.
Thank you, DTM Thomas, for your inspirational speech. Very nice. Moving on to our next speaker. I could remember Dr. Abdul Kalam, how he explained narrating his boss, how he managed doing the success and failure. The same situation happened today. Our third speaker supposed to be from Dynamic Leaders Forum, Toastmaster Satyanarayanan. I think he might have told his mentee, just one of his mentee identified, and then he told, go and shine in Medley Toastmasters. You can succeed. So that's the reason we have a person from Dynamic Leaders Forum, Toastmaster Satya Avila. And the topic also she has chosen a very nice, Savior of the Day. To evaluate her speech, I would like to call Toastmaster Jagannathan to read out the speech objective.
Thank you, Ramesh. Toastmaster Satya Aguila is delivering her effective coaching, level 3. It's an elective. Connect with the storytelling. So level 3, it's an elective project, effective coaching. So the purpose of this project is for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. The member completing this project is focusing on using stories in a speech or creating a speech that is a story. The member may use a personal story, a well-known conviction, or one of her own creation. All the very best. Timer, please note, 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jahan. About Satya, she is in teaching for more than 3 years in engineering college, a passionate Toastmaster who always loves to learn and explore new things. She loves quickie, new dishes. Please join your hands and welcome Toastmaster Satya Avila, Savior of the Day, Toastmaster Satya Avila.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. Am I audible? Okay. Chennai-Tiruvallur National Highway. Vehicles were moving at an expeditious pace. A champagne silver color Santro was parked on the shoulder with its parking lights blinking. On the left side of the car, a beautiful lady, somehow resembling heroine Urvashi, was standing holding a kid. Her eyes were filled with tears. On the other side, 2 guys were involved in a fierce, wordy war. What? Someone is eating mango in this gruesome situation? It's weird. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and my dear guest. I think every one of you is burning with curiosity to know who that Urvashi was. No second thoughts, that was me, Satya Akila. This was the scene that happened exactly in the month of May, year 2013. After 2 years of my baby boy's birth, we decided to drive round my husband's native to perform puja to our family goddess. Stopping over in malls and theaters is effortless compared to planning a temple visit. After a long discussion, my in-laws came up with one auspicious day. I was struggled because I came to know it was a Sunday. Sunday is my only rest day after 6 days of continuous working. My reaction was like comedian Vadivelu. Vada poche, Sunday poche, it's gone. If we plan a trip, the first person to wake up and last person to get ready is me. After 3 to 4 times of snoozing my alarm, I woke up and started cooking. Satya made food his family's choice, not because that I'm good at cooking. The place we were about to visit was a remote area that we cannot find any restaurants. I prepared idli, groundnut chutney, and lemon rice. My husband came and said, Satya, I bought potato chips for side dish. I reduced your kitchen work. You have to thank me. I saved your day. He imagined himself as Basha Rajni for saving my day. But the day was not over. The only means of travel to that off-the-map location is by car. My husband alone in my family knows driving and he loves to do that. This time, my father-in-law stretched out his helping hands by arranging a driver for the trip. On hearing that, my husband was dejected. I was delighted. I felt overjoyed. Not that I can sit with my husband. My husband will take care of my kid so that my sari will remain ironed. He felt disheartened for missing a long drive still. I imagined my father-in-law as MGR for saving my day. Still, the day was not over. We commenced our journey perfectly, not on time, 1 hour behind our planned timing. We were enjoying the jaunt as if we were on a foreign tour. On the way, we noticed few people were selling mangoes. It was a mango season and my father-in-law wished to buy some. We found an apt spot and parked the car. The driver went to sip a cup of coffee. My husband and father-in-law went to buy mangoes. I was sitting inside the car along with my son. Suddenly, my son started crying. Mommy, I want daddy. I don't know what to do. Since I was left with no other choice, I stepped out of the car, carrying my young son in my arms and shut the door. Seeing me, the driver came running and shouted something. I couldn't hear anything due to the oncoming traffic. He came near the car, tried to open the door. He couldn't. He left the key inside the car and all the doors were locked. My heart froze. My stomach turned icy. The driver seemed to be like a villain, Sonu Sood. They tried all possible measures to unlock, but the doors refused to open. Now, you all have to backtrack to my introduction scene. I'm the one who was crying. My husband and driver were fighting, blaming each other. My father-in-law was so stressed out and his tension grew thicker. Eating was his stress buster. So he started eating mangoes to cool himself off in that hot situation. I almost called all the gods and goddesses for rescue. Summer heat poured into our veins as if pumped in through a hypodermic needle. We were stuck in the middle of the road for more than an hour. When it seems nobody to help you, God is there. On the spur of the moment, we saw an old man resembling Amitabh Bachchan approaching us. Understanding the current scenario, he came up with a long, thin bamboo stick. He removed the outer black covering of the driver's window and inserted the stick through it. Pulse beating my ears, blocking all other sounds. I steady my breath and try to calm the panic. At one point of the time, we heard the tuck sound. The locks were released. We all were enraptured, and it was a blessing in disguise for me. The old man was the real savior of the day. Consequently, we visited our temple, performed family rituals, and returned home safely. From that day till now, I never step out of the car without checking for my car keys. Life is the best teacher, right? Sometimes we bother unnecessarily for absurd issues like me worried for missing a Sunday. But if another bigger trouble like tsunami hits us, all these silly hassles pop out like soap bubbles. I realized problems are not stop signs, they are the guidelines. If a problem chases you, don't run. Face it, fix it. Thank you. Over to the PM.
Thank you, Toastmaster Satya Aguila. A very humorous speech, and every syllable of your word you could act very great. Actually, after a long gap in a virtual meeting, I could see the speech in a very active form. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Satya Aguila. Moving on to our next speaker. To evaluate her speech, I would like to call Toastmaster Priyadarshini to read out the speech objective.
Good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day. Today, Sridevi is presenting Level 2 Project 2 Effective Body Language. Let me read out the purpose of the speech. The purpose is for the member to deliver a speech with awareness of intentional and unintentional body language, as well as to learn, practice, and refine how to use non-verbal communication when delivering a speech. And the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to you, Sridevi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Priyadarshini. Toastmaster Sridevi she's a storyteller and trainer. She focuses on inculcating reading ability and instill love for reading in children. An IT professional who decided to do what she loved to do and enjoying every minute of it. Please join your hands and welcome Toastmaster Sridevi, Lost and Found Toastmaster Sridevi.
Thank you, dear Modi. Am I audible and visible?
Yes.
Thank you. Bubbling with energy and enthusiasm, I was waiting at the entrance of UKGC classroom for the children to arrive. It was the school reopening day, and I was the class teacher of UKGC class. Earlier to this, I was working in IT industry, and I had a penchant for inculcating reading ability in young minds. So I quit my job and joined Montessori course. And after the course, I was standing there at the entrance of the classroom to invite all the children. Now, can you understand how excited I would have been as I was about to start what I love to do? Every color of the balloon were floating from the inside of my tippy toes to the roof of my pointy head. Like the buzzing bees and the chirping birds, children started to come one by one to the classroom. With their wiggly walks and sweet gibberish shouts, they entered my classroom, and soon my nest was filled with 20 chirping birds. Oops, 90 were chirping and one was silent. The silent girl was a new student. Her name is Shreya. She is from the village nearby. Everything was new to her. She was finding it difficult in that metropolitan style CBSE school. Every day we used to do circle time activity. We all will sit to form the shape of circle and we learn, sing and dance together. Do you know what is so special about circle time activity? I will tell you. Everyone in the circle can consider themselves at the center of the circumference of the circle. And children love this activity. also, we were having a class assembly on the stage. So I was preparing all the children for this assembly. I call everyone every day for the circle time activity. All of them would come with a great enthusiasm. All of them, except one. I know you would have guessed it by now. It was Shreya. Shreya was stuck in her shell. She couldn't open up. She couldn't talk to anyone. She couldn't do anything. She found it very difficult. She was completely lost in the maze of this new environment. But I had hopes, as though Shreya don't come to the classes, mingle with the children often, she used to attend her classes regularly. So I was quite confident. And that day, Shreya brought an apple as her snacks. And I was reminded of a story. So I told the story to all the children in the classroom. I will tell you the story now. Once, a little boy ate an apple and threw the seeds on the ground. The seed was soaked by the soil and sunlight, and soon it started germinating. One night, out came a small shoot out of the seed and looked at the sky. The sky was filled with stars, glittering and shining. The shoot was very happy. The shoot liked it a lot. The shoot wanted the stars as its flowers and fruits. It asked the stars, and the stars granted its wish. They said, "Wait, little shoot, wait." So the little shoot was waiting and waiting. It was happy and started growing to a small plant and then to a tree with number of branches and wonderful leaves. The tree was happy as it is going to conceive the stars within itself. One day, it found number of buds on its branches. So the tree was very happy. Soon it is going to have the stars. In the morning, when the buds bloomed, the tree looked at the stars. No, it was not the star. It was just the flowers, pink and white ones. The tree didn't want this. The tree was upset and again asked the sky, the stars. The stars said, "Wait, dear tree, wait." So the tree waited and soon it felt the heaviness in its branches. And in the morning, it was happily, excitedly turning and looking at the fruits. Was it a star? No, it was just red, round apples. I don't want these apples. The tree started shaking itself to shed all the apples. The apples started falling one by one and smashed in the ground. It was one apple that fell right in front of the tree and cut open into two. The tree found something amazing. There was a star inside the apple. The tree felt so happy and it said, "All these days I had these stars within me. I never realized." From that day, the tree started bearing more and more apples and was happy. I told the story to Shreya and to other children. I took her apple, cut it into half, and showed her the star within. I told the children, "Children, don't look out for the star outside. It is there within you." Shreya was happy and it was the assembly day. All the children were standing and everyone were watching Shreya, what she is going to do. Shreya decided to look out for her star. She stepped forward and sang, "Twinkle, twinkle, little star." She broke her eyes and she found the star within herself. Have you found the star within yourself? Over to you, Tia Modi.
Thank you, Toastmasters Sridevi. You are really a truly star storyteller. Thank you. Okay, we are now done with the prepared speech session. Hope you all enjoyed from the lot of key takeaways from the prepared speech. I would personally take a lot of from the prepared speech only. We will take a lot of key takeaways because they have spent a lot of time in preparing and they are giving the best, and we all get the essence out of it. Moving on to the next session, we have a table topics to activate the right side of the brain to be more creative or artistic. Toastmasters gives a wonderful platform to practice in the form of a table topic session. To conduct this session, table topics, we have DTM Manju. The next person whom I'm going to introduce is a hardcore addict, Toastmaster addict. In the last 7+ years, she has been president for both community and corporate clubs. She got Star Area Director Award 2019-20, and she helped charter the community club Dynamic Leaders Forum during COVID lockdown. She is a ICF certified executive coach and interview preparation specialist with 20 years experience, including at MNC. Normally in Toastmasters Customs, we normally get the speakers, how do we want to introduce? Even if president asks me how do I introduce, like I put I am so and so person I work. I used to give from the first person part speech of in a way. When I asked DTM Manju, the experience speaks, right? She gave exactly how do I need to read. She is like in a third person, I did not have to convert from first person to third person. That goes the experience. So before I hand over the stage to DTM Manju, I would request everyone to turn on the videos so that we would be happy to take a screenshot, and it would also help the table topics master to call out the volunteers. Can everyone turn on the speakers, and maybe a couple of our volunteers can take the screenshot if you all agree to it. Please turn on the videos, please. Venkateshan, Medley, Ranga, if you could make it, please do it. We would be happy to take a screenshot with a smiling moment. Menaka, Renu, Dinesh. Tyagarajan sir, if you could come forward, it would be good. Okay, let me take a screenshot of the first screen. Good. Let me save it. Another one. Yes, I'm done. Now the stage is with DTM Manju.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Ramesh. So I would like to welcome all the guests and encourage all of you to please rename yourself as guest hyphen your club and then your name, because that will help us in identifying which club you belong to as well. And this is probably one of the best sections of Toastmasters, which I really look forward to, because this is where all the fun is, because the remaining part is little bit structured because of the rules. Like we have the prepared speech section, then you have the general evaluation, and in between this we have that fun segment where we can learn a lot from each and every speaker. So let me now share a slide with you to set the ground rules. If you can see the slide, please show a thumbs up sign, or you can actually, yeah, thank you so much. So in this particular section, I'll be giving you some topics and you can speak for 1 to 2 minutes. The timer will be showing you timer cards. At 1 minute, the timer would be showing green card. So the timer's name is Medley-Sharanya. For the benefit of guests, what you can do is you can put it in gallery mode so that you can see Sharanya, Medley Sharanya, or you can right click on Sharanya and pin her on your screen. Okay, so in case you are not able to pin, you can always put it in gallery mode and watch out. I think Sharanya also has been posting the time limits in the chat window. So please do check the chat window as well. So green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red card at 2 minutes. And grace period of 30 seconds is also there. In case anyone would like to avail thinking time, usually for contest and all, there's no thinking time. And since it's contest season, I did not choose to keep the thinking time. But if any of the guests feel that they need to think, do tell me I need thinking time. We will give you 30 seconds and the timer will actually separately time that. So now shall we get started? And no need to worry, it's all fun time. So it's such an easy question. Do you see the screen? Can you see the question? Yes. So what you can do is you'll be required to type in this session. Okay. Type as in you have to type in the answers in the chat window. You can start now. Such a simple one, right? Can you see that? If you're not able to see, I can read it also. 6 into 6 plus 6 minus 6 into 6 equal what? So do I see the answers? Okay. 6, 36, 6. Wonderful. Okay. Fine. So now I would like to request Toastmaster Sampath, Medley Sampath Tamrud. I think he's a dual member. So DTM Sampath to actually unmute himself and turn on his video so that we can get started with him. Is that okay, sir?
Yeah, I've already unmuted. The video is already on.
Okay, okay. Due to some reason, yeah. So now on the screen, I'm going to do some inky pinky ponky, and I give you. Okay, how long have you been with Toastmasters?
Almost 20 years.
20 years. Okay, then we'll give him a tough one, shall we? I need audience to type yes. Sir, is that okay with you? Are you game for the challenge?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It's not tough. For him, it's easy. So let's click on this and see what comes. Okay. Sir, your topic is this. It's a quote by world's performance coach, Tony Robbins. Are you able to see the topic?
Yes.
Yeah. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. DTM Sampath.
Good afternoon, my good old young friend Manju, other Toastmasters and guests. There are two important aspects in this topic. One is the moment of decision and the other is destiny. These two are very much related. There are a lot of people who say, I didn't have the luck, or nobody was there to help me or pull me up. There are many ways in which people think they can grow, they can succeed, they can arrive at wherever they want to arrive. But unless you yourself work, you will not reach anywhere. And you should work, not hard work, but smart work. That is where the decision-making process comes. You make the right decision, make a plan and roadmap for that, and then work on that diligently, you will arrive at your destination, whatever it is. So when you make a decision, that is the time you should realize how important it is. You should not be forced by circumstances or certain other pressures and then urgently jump into a decision. You should take your time, collect the right facts, based on that, arrive at a good decision. Once you do that, that decision you have made will shape your destiny in a very favorable way. So I will say the decision making is there for everybody. There is a lot of opportunity, and at that time they don't realize it, how it is going to make or break. If they realize it and take a good decision, they will certainly be successful, progress, or arrive at whatever destination they plan for. Back to DTM Manju.
Thank you so much, sir. Experience really speaks, isn't it? If you liked his speech, you can type yes in the chat window, because I'm here again with a slide with some more. So are you able to see my slide now? Are you able to see the slide? If you're, because there could be slide delay in the refresh. So do let me know if you're able to see. Are you able to see the slide now?
Yes. Bigger.
Yes.
Letters be bigger.
Okay. I'll read it out to you. I'll read that out to you. Okay, you can zoom it also, sir. You can actually click on that and zoom it also. If you are on your mobile, you can actually zoom it. So you can just click on it and zoom it, sir. So it's like puzzle, a famous nursery rhyme that referred to the dreaded disease plague. So answers in the chat window now. It's nursery rhyme. It's not tough. It's an English nursery rhyme. A famous nursery rhyme that referred to the dreaded disease plague. So do we have the answers? Wow. Yes. Baba Black Sheep, Ring, Ringa Ringa Roses. Okay. Yes, come on. More answers. Are these the only two nursery rhymes you know? Clue. Satyagla asked for clue. Okay. In the interest of time, actually, we already got the correct answer. That is Medley Toastmaster Ranga Ringa Ringa Roses. He's right. Because during the plague episode, people developed some kind of reddish rashes, and then you have Usha, you have sneezing, and they all fell on there. It's actually a bit sad thing, but to know the origin of certain nursery rhymes, it's all tied up to the history of people. So now let's move on to the, one second. So you can see these pictures again, right? Are you able to see the pictures? Are you able to see? You can put yes in the chat window. I'm much used to the yes chat window thing. So you can type yes in the chat window if you're able to see. Thank you so much. So now let's move on to, let's call someone from Dynamic. Is a young VPPR, the young VPPR of Dynamic Leaders Forum, Kirtana, present in this meeting?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Okay, thank you, Kirtana. Kirtana is a student, so she has been with Dynamic since August 1st. So let's go for, okay, yes. So, like cricket?
No.
Okay, then I go with this person here. I think most of you would be able to recognize this person, right? Are you able to? Clue, name starts with R. Second name starts with S. Beyond this, I cannot give. This man, this. Others can help. In the chat window, you can type in. You can help. You are the audience support. It's like KBC. So
Ralph's Medley?
Yes, RS. Ralph's Medley. So let's go with this one. So do you see the topic? So Toastmaster Kirtana, your topic is, yeah, you got a very simple one. We learn best in moments of enjoyment. We learn best in moments of enjoyment. Toastmaster Kirtana.
Okay. First, this topic can be related by anyone. Would you learn something if you do not enjoy learning it? For instance, math was my most hated subject in school. I just hated it. Every single examination, oh my God. I still remember I had math from grade 1 up to grade 12. I did have the opportunity to change over, but then my parents, typical Indian parents, forced me to take maths throughout my school life. But fortunately, I got rid of maths for my undergraduate. And I think that is where the difference between school and college comes. College is something that I love going to. I have not missed a single day of college this semester. So unless and until you learn, you enjoy learning your subjects, you're not going to learn anything. It's not going to be fruitful. You're not going to gain anything out of it. In fact, even talking about Toastmasters, I did not quite enjoy it in the beginning. I was forced into Toastmasters by my dad, who is a Toastmasters, who has been part of Toastmasters for the past 10, 15 years. But eventually, I did find my love here. And turns out I do have a penchant for talking too. So I did fall in love with Toastmasters. I guess that's it. Over to you, Table Topics Master, Toastmaster Manju.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kirtana. Whenever you come on stage and smile itself, just to see you smile and talk, you're speaking directly from the heart. We can see the joy on your face, isn't it? Do you agree? Audience, you can type yes if you agree to that. Okay, thank you. So now I think the second puzzle, I think some of you who were keen observers actually got to know, and some of them even shared the answers. So now let's look at, are you able to see the screen now? The slight delay in the screen sharing. So the question is dash and tide. You're not able to see the screen? Okay, let me try that. Again, yeah. Yeah, time and dash waits for none.
Tide.
Simple one. Yeah.
Tide.
Yes, that's right. That's right. I think there was also certain other people who had observed it earlier and gotten it was like answer paper was leaked, question paper was leaked. Okay, so sorry for that pop-up. So now let's move on to the screen again, once again. Yes. So who do we have next? Shall we go to Medley again? Because we had a dynamic, we had Medley. So now let's go for Medley. So this time, may I have 2 Toastmasters from Medley? So I would like to call Toastmaster Jagan, and may I call upon another Toastmaster, maybe Toastmaster Priya for this session? Hello?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So this is going to be like, you would have seen this already, like you will be having to speak on this topic, probably for and against kind of. So you can actually either agree or, kind of disagree with it. And you can speak for 2 minutes, and your counterpart, the other person, will be actually kind of in a debate fashion, he'll be actually arguing against you. So you can choose now whether you would like to go for or against the topic now, without seeing the topic.
For.
For. Okay, wonderful. So Priya is for, and we
for
have.
What is the question?
Whatever be the situation, whatever be the topic, you'll agree with that. Okay. And this is not, these quotes are all by great people. So you don't have to agree with me. You can agree with that great personality. And Toastmaster Jagan, are you okay to be, debate against Toastmaster Priya? Jagan, are you there?
He's
if
busy.
not, if not, I would like to request Toastmaster Raghunath, the president. Are you okay, sir?
Yes, I'm okay.
Okay, very good. That's the spirit. So now let's go on to, yes. Do you guess this? Do you know this personality? Of course, everyone knows, right? Who's that? You can type in the chat window. Yeah, or you can, answer. Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln. Yeah.
Yeah, Abraham Lincoln. So let's go to that. Once again. Okay. So the topics of the timer, I know it's going to be a little complicated for you. You'll have to time her separately, Priya, and then again time Raghu sir separately. So let's start. Toastmaster Priya, do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Toastmaster Priyadarshi.
Okay. So it means like if you're making friends with your enemies, they are no more your enemies. That's what it means. Okay. To make it very simple, I would like to share one story which was a personal learning from me. There was it shows to make your enemies as your friends, you need to be really very smart enough, because this is absolutely a genius can easily do it. It's very tough for the other normal person. There was one saint who was in the jungle, who was meditating for years together, and there was no one disturbing him in his island. All of a sudden, he hears a cry of a woman, and she says, "Please help me. There are people chasing me." And he knows that he is in a forest which is ruled by so and so king, and he cannot fight against them. And he needs to act it very smartly to get out of the situation. And when he asks her problem as to why they're chasing, she says, for some small reason, she is given a very big punishment, and now they are taking her to the jail. And he says, "Okay, lady, why don't you take this way and find your escape route?" And now there comes these soldiers from his own kingdom who were his friends, and they ask him, "Did you see any lady in this jungle?" And he says, when he's talking to this lady, he walks out and he moves to some other place, and he very smartly tells the soldiers, "You know me, I'm a saint and I never lie, and I have been very honest to you all the time. I've always spoken the truth. Will you all agree if I speak the truth?" And they say, "Yes, we will agree with whatever you say, sir, because you always speak the truth." And he says, "Yes, after I came to this seat, I didn't see any women coming to me, and I not helped any lady here." And that's how he takes the soldier in some other direction. It shows, now what he has done here is, this lady was from the opposition side. Now he has helped that lady. But the smart thing he played here was, he said, after I came to this position, he actually helped the lady when he was sitting on a rock. And when he moved out of that position and he came here, he said, after I came to this position, this place, I have not seen any lady, I have not helped anyone. And I think in this way, it was a win-win situation. He helped his own soldiers as well as the opposition side lady, though she was doing something wrong. He found it was not that big crime and he wanted to help. And being very honest, being very gentle, and showing his best of the best qualities, he tried to make friendship with both. And I would say, yes, it is possible to make enemies as your friends.
Wonderful. Now it's time for Toastmaster Raghunath to actually defend. You'll have to go against what Toastmaster Priyadarshini spoke. So I'll read out. Do you want me to read out the topic again to you?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Toastmaster Raghu.
Thank you, Toastmaster DTM Manju. If you observed the Toastmasters Priya's speech, the first part of the sentence where she clearly states that she doesn't agree, because it's very difficult to have your enemy befriend with you and then get that thing done. So from a topic perspective itself, there is where my target speaker or the opposition speaker has said that it is not possible. You actually lost that complete story, what it is being done. But if to come back to the topic as such, make your friends as your enemy, it's a very difficult task. Like when you talk about some very difficult task for a normal person, unless you are a saint or or a diplomat, where you actually talk and sit and do that. Otherwise, the moment you see someone who has actually hurt you, the kind of adrenaline rush which you get in your head, that itself makes you feel like, okay, whether I should go and slap or make him a friend. That's a kind of a common person's reaction to that particular, when you see an enemy. But when you're a saint, there itself, it is like, it's not a normal person's way. So so I don't agree that, in general, making an enemy as a friend, you're winning. It's more of the other way, because you're hurting yourself by having unnecessary adrenalines into your head and making your health go bad. And most of the time, most of us say that first you love yourself and then you love others. So when you to love others, you need to also look at your health, which gets into unnecessary adrenaline. So the best thing which you can do is not to be friendship, but keep them away. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, sir. I think well defended. However, I beg to differ with you, because I feel that if you actually can convert your enemy to your friend, right? Then actually,
of course, I believe that.
Yeah,
I have to defend.
But then you defended it very well. I really like the way you defended it. It's not easy to defend, but you did. Toastmaster Priya also. So please give a round of applause, either by showing thumbs up sign, or you can type claps in the chat window, or you can actually show that reaction. It was well done. Now let's move on to the next topic. And of course, before that, for the audience, I have this. So do you see the screen? Are you able to see my screen? I think whenever I share it again, there's a slide delay. So we have again a puzzle for the audience. So are you able to see that? I can read it out also. What is the English word for the word Magirchi from the famous Rajnikant movie? I'm not telling the movie name. You know the movie. Yes, you know the movie, Kabali. Yeah, you can type in the chat window. You can unmute and speak as well. So do we have DTM Sundar from Medley and Toastmaster Nitish from Dynamic Leaders Forum? Would you be able to volunteer? Or may I call upon you to speak
Thank
next?
you. Thank you. Let me try.
Okay,
Thank you,
sure.
ma'am.
So what's the answer? Okay, happy. No, I don't think Magrichi is happiness. It's intense happiness. So what is the exact word? Intense happiness. Am I right? My knowledge of Tamil, limited knowledge of Tamil says Magrichi is not happiness. It's intense happiness. Am I right? So the answer is not right. People have, yes. So you think about it, audience can think about it while we listen to BTM Sundar and Toastmaster Nitish. Toastmaster Nitish, are you there? Toastmaster Nitish, yes. So are you ready to start? So we'll have this time 2 different topics. So Toastmaster Nitish, you are studying in first year, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So you'll speak next. You'll be speaking seconds. First, let's go with Sundar sir. So Sundar sir, let me take. Do you want Gautam Buddha or
Anyone? Your choice, ma'am. Your choice, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll go with maybe Elon Musk. Does that sound to you? Okay.
Why not? But I don't have an electric car. Please go ahead.
No, in a sense, did you watch the news recently about Elon Musk and all?
Well, he's a celebrity, but latest thing means I'm not aware these few days.
Then let me go for Gautam Buddha.
Thank you.
Gautam Buddha. Okay. Okay. So for you, it's Gautam Buddha. And let's see what the topic is. Wow. Okay. It's about serenity. So Sundar sir, your topic is serenity comes when you trade expectations for acceptance. Serenity comes when you trade expectations for acceptance. Toastmaster Sundar.
Yeah, thank you, Table Topic Master, for this piece of thought from great Gautam Buddha's words. Certainly, we all agree. Certainly, we all will agree for this one because serenity is the most important in life. Absolutely. Because we work, we take care of the family, we earn. At the end of the day, we need serenity in our life. During this process, certainly we have a lot of expectations. We dream a lot. Whether we can achieve everything, not possible. In life, everything will not happen as per our plan. So somewhere we have to negotiate and accept the things as it is. That's the most difficult. Why I'm telling is progress is required. We all know. Change. Everybody says change, change. But that progress enemy is also change because accepting the change is not easy for all of us. Each one perception is different. At that time, we negotiate and keep our expectations at the side and accept what is possible and accept what is not possible in our social life. And ultimately, we balance our life like we balance our work life and our family life and other things. We have to balance everything. As a Toastmaster, I can tell you, we can say a lot. It's a piece of cake. Then I can justify this statement. But going through this every word and negotiating whatever you are facing in life and deciding and arriving on that answer is the most difficult thing, which we need maturity by faith or by our knowledge gathered or by attending Toastmasters also over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Sundar. I think the way you delivered the speech itself we could see your face was serene, and you're speaking from experience, I believe, right? You're speaking from experience about that acceptance, but we could really relate to that. And now let's go for the puzzle part, shall we? So let's look at puzzle. Yes, this is for the audience. So audience, puzzle dash a leg means all the best. Yes, come on.
Break a leg. Break a leg.
Okay, it's break a leg. Break a leg means all the best. That's right. And now let's move on to our next person. So Toastmaster Nitish is a first year engineering student from Dynamic Leaders Forum. He joined Toastmasters on the day he turned 18. So let's give him probably a little person who's relatable to him. So I'll go with Dhoni. Are you okay with Dhoni? Nitish?
I'm okay with anyone, ma'am.
That's the spirit. So let's go with Dhoni. Okay. So your topic, Toastmaster Nitish, is listen to your elders' advice, not because they are always right, but because they have more experience of being wrong. Listen to your elders' advice, not because they are always right, but because they have more experience of being wrong. Toastmaster Nitish.
So hello all, I'm Nitish from Dynamic Leaders Forum. So my topic is listen to your elders' advice, not because they are always right, but because they have more experience of being wrong. Yeah, this relates to one of the old story of my senior. Like actually, he is very weak in mathematics. So he never puts problems in C. He just everyone reads English, he reads mathematics. So he used to always, like after he passes out of the school, he used to come to school every day because he want to improve his maths before he go to college. So what he does is he used to come to me, like come to our class, and he used to speak. Like he used to every time say us, don't read maths. And I understood after completing my 12th standard examination, reading maths won't help you gaining marks. So this is all some things like they have more experience than us. Like I even first read mathematics. I never put mathematics. I just used to read out the formulas. Everyone used to write. My classmates used to sit and write. I used to read it like a storybook. As of like English and mathematics are same for me even now. So like all those are kind of good experience. Something elder says, and we sometimes listen. Sometimes we say, yeah, let it go. Whatever we get, whether it is for us. So I find this is a very good topic. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Nitish. Well expressed. And thanks for sharing that beautiful story of the reading maths. Now that's you put a different spin on reading. Reading maths is the first time I'm hearing reading maths. Wonderful. So now let's move on to the puzzle, and then we can have a guest. So may I request any guest who'd like to try out a very interesting or simple topic, in the chat window you can type in your name so that I can call you out. I'm not able to identify because that guest, I think some of you have not renamed yourself. So may I request you to put type in the chat window your name if you're interested in speaking. So meanwhile, let's have a puzzle, an idiom involving two birds. Two or more birds.
Something like a bird in the hand is worth than
Okay.
Two in the bush.
Yes, yes, yeah. So Satyagila and Toastmasters Sundar, both of you are right. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. But I just kept it open so that you can even come up with some other idiom which I have not heard of as well. So now let's go on to the last. I think we have two guests. Guest Venkatesan and guest Bonnie have volunteered, so I'll have to pick between them. And for you, I just want to understand, guest Venkatesan, may I call you on stage? Is that okay with you? Would you be able to participate?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you so much. Guest Venkatesh, are you working or are you a student?
I'm working.
Okay. So then I have the perfect topic for you. So do you identify this man here?
Yes.
Okay. Who's that?
I think Robert Kiyosaki.
Yes.
I may not be right. Yeah.
Very good. So you are on the way towards, becoming
Being
very,
rich.
Yeah, very rich. Superb.
Yes.
Let's go for that. Okay, let's click on Kiyosaki and see what we got. Yes. So yes, Venkatesan, workers work hard enough to not be fired, and owners pay just enough so that workers won't quit. I didn't say that. Robert Kiyosaki said that. And workers work hard enough to not be fired, and owners pay just enough so that workers won't quit. So, what is your opinion about this? We're not able to hear you. I think you're on mute. Thank you so much.
Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Just my son interrupted. Okay. So this is the perfect term from Robert Kiyosaki, though I don't agree with him on this entire terms. This is a typical example of a capitalist form of the industry or how the practices are done, wherein a worker works just for earning money and the owners uses those workers to get profit out of them. So when I take a topic which was discussed in this Toastmasters, you should do what you like to do. I think that's the topic of the day. So it is completely contradictory to this statement. The workers work hard enough not to be fired. In those cases, the workers will not have any team collaboration. They won't be able to target or have a vision, their vision aligned to the organization's vision. And the owners will be always looking upon the top line of the organization rather than the employee empowerment, by which they could bring in the improvement in their top line, which could be more sustainable and which could be more relevant to these days. So we have seen many organizations which have failed if they had where they had adapted this methodology or mindset. So I'm not sure what is the background of this statement or the quotation, but I totally disagree with this statement. Thank you, ma'am.
I think well spoken. He says that he doesn't agree with Robert Kiyosaki, and he has even read his books, I believe, right? You have also read Robert Kiyosaki's books. Wonderful.
Right, yeah.
So with this, I think it's time to end this session. So before I leave, I'll just give you the last puzzle. Okay, this I think you already know. So what we will do is, let's go for this. Sorry, let's, sorry. Yeah, let's go for this one. Puzzle a dash of the old block. This is the last one. The audience can type in the chat window, a dash of the old block. You've heard this, right? Yes. Yes, I think Thomas, DTM Thomas got that right. A chip of the old block. So with this, time to hand over the stage to the ebullient Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ramesh. And thank you so much, audience, for the wholehearted participation, both in the chat window and for all the speakers who are on stage. Thank you so much. And over to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you, DTM Manju, for the very innovative table topics. A lot of informative, and having a person like you for in Medley Toastmasters, we are all very Mikka Mahilshi. By the way, what is the actual English mean exact for the Mahilshi then?
Actually, I wanted to find out, so I was Googling that last.
Okay.
I'm not a native Tamil speaker, so I thought there was some word called ecstasy.
Okay.
And today I got euphoria. I think euphoria and ecstasy are close matches to my knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We will find out. Okay, so now that we are done with the prepared speech and table topics, the most important, as I mentioned in the beginning, is the evaluation. So to run the evaluation session, I would like to call Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Before that, are we going to take the voting, TMOD, so that it will be easier for us?
Yeah, so I would like to ask the timer to read out the qualified speaker and the qualified table topics speaker, both prepared speaker, and then just read out the names, please.
For prepared speakers, like all are qualified: Toastmaster Pranav Sudarshan, Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham, Toastmaster Satya, and Toastmaster Sridevi. So table topic speakers, like all are qualified: Distinguished Toastmaster Sambat Saurirajan, Toastmaster Kirtana, Toastmaster Priyadarshini, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, Toastmaster Sundareshan, Toastmaster Nitish, and Toastmaster Venkateshan. Over to you.
Thank you, Sharanya. So this would help when the voting list comes. Please make a note of it. Good that everyone is qualified today. Happy to see that. Over to you, Toastmaster Kalyan.
Thank you, Ramesh. And then I have one more question here. Are we going to run the vote now, vote counter, or how it is going to happen? I come from a old school of thought where the voting has to happen before the evaluation happens. Otherwise, we get biased. When evaluator comes and says, okay, this is what, and then I think, okay, this is the best person, and then I voted. So can we just have the voting now itself for both for the prepared speeches and
yeah.
Sorry.
Sure, we will do it, because normally we used to do all the four voting things. We do it at the end.
Can I have help from the vote counter? If the voting links are ready for everything, we will just do it, or at least we can just implement it from the next meeting onwards. I personally, it's a very personal thought. We get biased. We are, at the end of the day, we are not machines, we are humans.
Sure, Toastmaster Kalyan. I think let's hear from, Sharanya. Is it possible?
I've not yet prepared the.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Next.
Thank you, Timothy. We will get on to the evaluation session.
You have 1 point, Toastmaster Kalyan, to comment it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, I have what to say. In the beginning I told you I have an objective team and a subjective team. Now the second team which is coming to us is the subjective team. Pardon me for this. There is a small change in the agenda. As per now, we will be evaluating Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas' speech here. Is the speaker present in the room, so that I can just go ahead and with the speaker's evaluation of Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. I'm just seeing. Okay. I have an opportunity to work with this particular person. When I was a district officer, she is also a district officer. I always seen her as a silent killer. She will just one serene person will walk and she will do everything and then walk out. That is what Durga to me. I asked her, is there anything which I don't know about her? She said she's an ardent poet. Now here, let me have Toastmaster Durga Balasubramaniam to evaluate Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham's speech. Over to you, Durga.
Audio check, Durga.
Hello, am I?
Yes, Durga.
Yeah, thank you. So 360-degree experience of 3 XCOM roles, 5 best speaker ribbons, and 5 levels of pathway speech with 20+ speeches as part of the pathways journey. And again, encapsulated with life stories, educational speeches, lessons learned, and that all presented as an enchanting speech today. I think which really left us spellbound. Hope you all agree with me. No wonder, with his vibrant speech, today's virtual stage would have vibrated. Let's give thunderous applause for this virtual stage to again vibrate for completing his milestone speech. Let's give a vibrant, thunderous applause for DTM Thomas T. Abraham to finish his milestone speech, the last speech in Pathways Level 1. I am really humbled and privileged to evaluate this gentleman's speech. The number one, the speech title itself. The right title will help bring many eyes and many ears to listen to your voice. I think if I read out the speech title, the timer has to exceed my time. The real voyage of discovery doesn't consist on seeking new lands, but in having new eyes. A perfect title for this perfect speech to reflect on your path. Kudos for selecting a right title. Moving on, the structure of the speech. A well-structured speech, chronologically crafted,
with the timeline starting from 2018 and passing Corona stage and the last speech that we are currently hearing now. That really helped especially my poor brain operated optimally to observe and reflect on this chronological order of the timelines. When you started your icebreaker and what is your journey all about? I could really reflect on your levels, the speech experience that you have gone through. While I'm still struggling to file my DTM for my traditional path that I have completed 2018, I'm really wondering how this man could complete his pathways complete all the levels in just 2 years, not 2 years, 18 months to be precise. I'm really kudos. And again, remembering all the titles, speech title, even for the icebreaker speech is really amazing. I'm really astonished with that. Moving on, the very important thing maybe especially the virtual stage, we all take it for granted, come in dressed, but he really took this privilege to dress up professionally, neatly and attractively. That again, with adding the expressive gestures, really that added I would say it's a plus for your overall physical presence on the virtual stage. Moving on, I would call it as the ringmaster of words or a melody from Medley. That's how I would like to give title to DTM Abraham, because that's how your choice of words would be, with the most dramatic language and again with presenting with most visually picturization expressions that we all could see, visualize, illustrate the images itself. And one thing that really I liked was you brought in contrasting ideas with many characters in your speech, but with the balanced sentences. I just really loved the way how you could quickly balance those sentences in a quicker way. I think I can keep on giving you more positive feedback, but considering the time, let me quickly move on to the suggestion, only suggestion I have. If at all, if you'd have touch based your accomplishments outside Toastmasters Club, also telling us what's your next step by setting a new goals for your next journey would have even helped her to give a holistic view of this path that you are planning to have in your life. To summarize and to conclude, let me borrow what you have stated in your speech. Life is the greatest storybook. I think I would recommend all of you to read his story to get an instant inspiration to follow your footpath. I think followed by the empathetic Medlians, dynamic leaders also lined up to follow your path and finish your uh, pathways sooner. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Dirga, for that evaluation. And our next evaluation is going to be for the speaker from Dynamic Leaders Forum, Satya Agla. And we have Toastmaster Jagannathan to evaluate Satya Agla's speech. Toastmaster Jagan is a friend and a fellow Medlian. And in the very beginning, we have mentioned that particular thing we have been mentioning. I don't know how many of you joined there. Toastmaster Jagan composed a music, and we have one medley anthem now. Toastmaster Jagan composed that particular medley anthem. It was beautiful. Probably at the end of, if time permits, at the end of the meeting or after the meeting, I would request the team to play just for the benefits of everybody else here. And Toastmaster Jagan to evaluate Satya Agla. Over to you, Jagan.
Thank you, Kalyan. Great stories happen to those people who can tell them. It is evident today that Toastmaster Agila can tell them. It is not only that she can tell them, she can enact them. It is not only that she can enact them, she can perform them. It is not only that she can perform them, she can package them with a powerful purpose and a strong message. Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. How did Agila accomplish this? Now, going beyond the obvious of having good descriptive skills, appropriate body language, vocal variety, vivid imagery, in my analysis, the first strength that I see is her usage of title. Savior of the day, she did not use it anywhere in the speech, but rather a derivative of the title. She used it in Basha, MGR, and the Old Man. It is as if a nylon string getting all these beads together and forming a pearl necklace. The nylon string held on to the necklace, and the very good usage of title with respect to its derivative and not the actual usage of the title. The second thing is the outline of the speech. Now, storytelling has intro, not body, not conclusion. It has intro, conflict, and action. And that's what the manual says. She used it, she perfected it with the introduction because the introduction was so unconventional. It was not conventional way of us listening to introductions because it was part of a body. The body of the speech was introduction, and she closed that loop, including to the introduction, the conflict that she set up throughout the speech and landing upon the main conflict of having locked out of the car, and the action which followed a powerful purpose and a strong conclusion. The third positive that I see is the humor. It's not a humor, normal humor that we all do. It's a methodological humor. It's not simple, but yet it is easy to understand. It is worked upon. She has written down those scripts, worked with her mentor. She has set up and twist each and everything. She has worked on all of these humorous parts. Now, this pearl, the pearl necklace that she has given us, needs only one improvement from my perspective. She did have dialogue, of course. However, if she could have had this dialogue with the driver in the main conflict of the speech, she did characterize the driver. If she could have had a dialogue with the driver saying, "Ma'am, what have you done? What have I done, Mr. Driver? You have closed, you have locked yourself out of the door, out of the car." That would have dramatized the event, created tension, immense tension in the conflict of the story, and then release the tension and say, "Yeah, I've come back into the car." And it is as if a Beethoven symphony completing into the abyss and saying, "Yes, now you're free." So if you could have created dialogues with the driver and improved the dramatization of that final main conflict, this pearl necklace would have been complete and here on top. So to conclude, effective usage of the title, humor, methodological humor, the outline of the speech with intro, conflict, and action, the characterization and bit including dialogues with the driver would add to the main conflict of your speech. All the very best.
Thank you, Jagan. Now, we have a next speaker, Sridevi Srinivasan. To evaluate her speech, we have Priyadarshini Bailu from Medley Toastmasters Club. Priyadarshini, when I was a VP is when Priyadarshini came as a member. I still remember how she started her career and then in Toastmasters journey. And now she's a podium finisher in the division conference for evaluation. Now Priyadarshini to evaluate Toastmasters Sridevi Srinivasan's speech. Over to you, Priya.
Thank you, G. The biggest problem in communication is we do not listen to understand. We listen to reply. But when Toastmaster Sridevi came with a speech and there was a story within it, I was listening so carefully only to understand what is the message behind this story. Sridevi, there are many things which stood out in this speech. I will say I didn't just hear, I also saw many elements because your body language was outstanding. Your gesture, it was, especially when you started with the balloons and the bees, we call it as a descriptive gesture. It was very appropriate. You were very empathetic when you talked about that child, Shreya, and her fear. There was also prompting gesture when you said, "Oh, let me tell you a story now." You took all of us into consideration and you made us a part of your story. That's where you showed that you are really a very caring teacher. I must tell you one thing today. I really loved when you talked about shooting off that bird and it opened and it talked to the sky. And it was not just Shreya who saw the star in that apple. It was me for the first time who saw stars inside the apple. That is why they say all that you want to learn is already being taught in kindergarten. I truly enjoyed this story of yours. Now coming to the recommendation part. You mentioned there were 19 chirping birds and one was silent. If you could have positioned that silent kid next to you, and if you could have seen her or given some expression, I would have said it would have been a complete story because I could have got to see the twinkle in Shreya's eyes today. Overall, your body language, the gestures, or your positioning, everything was very apt. If you could have brought in this Shreya inside this frame, it would have been one of the finest speech. I would like to close by saying, nothing is lost if we have a teacher like you to find it anyways. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Priyadarshini. Now we have our next evaluation. To evaluate Toastmaster Pranav's speech, we have Toastmaster Suresh Malli. Toastmaster Suresh Malli is a very senior Toastmaster and a very experienced person in Toastmaster fraternity. And he, from the previous path, he has done his ACB, ACL, and few names we don't see. What happens is very new Toastmasters, we get the name, know the name first, understand, and we don't know what sort of amazing experience these people bring on. I will always say is a club is bringing something, a dashboard, something like that. Everybody knows, okay, who's this particular Toastmasters, what experience he has got, the club can be benefited. With that such immense experience, both in corporate, education, and Toastmaster, here, Suresh Malli to evaluate Toastmaster Pranav's speech.
Thank you, General Evaluator. What is the biggest attribute, the most important attribute I, as an individual, respect in a leader is his ability to share his experience, the hard learned facts from his experience to the people who really need it. And today, Toastmaster Pranav, you have just done that. In my opinion, you are a successful leader because you have come forward and shared your experience in running a contest at the right time when the people need it the most and to the right audience. You have clearly told us what are your key experiences, sir. I took away 2 points from there. Teamwork is important, but having the right team member is even more important. And communication. Communicate. That's a message I got from you. Now, getting back to the books, what are the key areas of leadership that we have to focus on? Communication, yes, you have really touched upon. You have mentioned how proactive your communication have been when executing this project and how you effectively went around and talked to various stakeholders to make the contest a successful event. And you have also expressed in from your experience how open-mindedness you were and how it really helped the team. For example, you got the input from the chief judge and started implementing it immediately. So that shows your open-mindedness, which you have learned, and the optimism with which you took the role, which was very positive. And from a responsibility of a leader, you have delegated the task to the right team members. So your first job was to identify the right team, and I think you did that, and you delegated to the right team member. And you also started off your contest role with a goal setting. You came up with a good number of checklists, and you also had checked with you also worked on identifying the judges. And your review, you had it done very frequently, so you came out very well as a leader in exhibiting your responsibilities. Well, are there any areas where you could have done more? Probably you have done more, but I couldn't get to hear more in this 5 minutes of 5 to 6 minutes of your speech. However, I personally felt in the first 1 minute or so, I could see how other senior Toastmasters motivated you to take up the contest chair role. However, I could not see the examples of where you, as a leader, motivated your team to perform more. If we had that, your speech would have given us much more insight into how you, as a leader, performed and benefited by running this contest. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that, Toastmaster Suresh Malli. Now we are done with the evaluation session. For the voting, having the voting in mind, though we are going to have the vote at the end of the meeting. Can I have the timer to read only the names of the qualified evaluators? Only the names of the qualified evaluators. Timer.
So the qualified evaluators, there are like 3 evaluators qualified out of 4. It is Suresh Malli is qualified. Durga Balasubramaniam is not qualified. Jagannathan is qualified, and Toastmaster Priyadarshini is qualified.
Timer, can you just read only the names of the qualified evaluators? Can you just
Toastmaster Suresh Malli, Toastmaster Jagannathan, Toastmaster Priyadarshini.
Thank you very much for that. And at the time of voting, we are going to vote for these 3 people towards the best evaluator. We are running a little late by 5-6 minutes. If suppose the next role players, they don't occupy much of a time, we can end the meeting on time. I always feel anybody can start anything on time. Ending at on time is what the real challenge is. Let's aim towards it. Now, let me go to my tag report. Timer, can I have a detailed report from you?
Sure, Toastmaster. Let me share my screen. So for prepared speeches, it was Toastmaster Pranav Sudarshan. So all are qualified here. Took like 7 minutes and 20 seconds. He's qualified. Distinguished Toastmaster Thomas Abraham, his speech was from 10 to 12 minutes. So his time was 10 minutes and 58 seconds. He's qualified. And Toastmaster Satya is 6 minutes 28 seconds, is qualified. And Toastmaster Sridevi took 7 minutes and 11 seconds, is qualified. So moving on to the evaluators. So Toastmaster Suresh Malli took 3 minutes and is qualified. Toastmaster Durga took 4 minutes and 55 seconds and is not qualified. Toastmaster Jagan took 3 minutes and 22 seconds, is qualified. And Toastmaster Priyadarshini took 2 minutes and 10 seconds and she's qualified. Moving on to the table topic speakers, distinguished Toastmaster Sambat Saurirajan took 2 minutes and 5 seconds, is qualified. Toastmaster Kirtana took 1 minute and 20 seconds, she's qualified. Toastmaster Priyadarshini took 2 minutes and 28 seconds, she's qualified. Toastmaster Raghunath Nair took 1 minute and 49 seconds, he's qualified. And Toastmaster Sundaresan took 1 minute 59 seconds and he's qualified. Toastmaster Nitish took 1 minute and 5 seconds, he's qualified. Toastmaster Venkateshan took 1 minute, guest Venkateshan took 1 minute and he's qualified. With this, I would like to hand it over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Timer Sharanya, for that. Now let me have the next R-counter report from Toastmaster Snehalata. Snehalata, your report, please.
Fellow Toastmasters, good afternoon once again. I would like to congratulate Toastmaster Ajita, Toastmaster Sundar, DTM Thomas T. Abraham, Toastmaster Satya Agila, Toastmaster Sambat, and Toastmaster Jagannathan NC for not having any crutch words or fillers or pauses in their speech today. Can I go for the detailed report since we are running short of time?
Yes, please. Can you rush it out?
Sorry?
Yes, please. You can.
Okay. So Toastmaster Mohana Sundaram had 1 and 1 repeat. Toastmaster Suresh Malli had 1 and 1 pause. Toastmaster Raghunath C. Nair has 1 1 and 1 so. Toastmaster Kalyan had 1 Toastmaster Pranav Sudarshan had 3 okay. Guest Venkateshan had 1 so. Toastmaster Durga had 1 1 Toastmaster Priyadarshini had 1 1 so. Toastmaster Ramesh had 3 ums. DTM Manju had 1 and 2 so. Toastmaster Sharanya had 3 so's. Toastmaster Kirtana had 1 so. Toastmaster Sridevi had 1 and Toastmaster Nitish Narasimham had 1 and 1 so. That's all. Thank you. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Counter Snehalata, for that. Now let us hear it from a grammarian, Toastmaster Ajita.
Toastmaster Rajita lost her connection and she has shared the report. Can I share it here?
Yes, please.
Yeah.
You can just come out with your name and then you can just do the.
Yeah, she has sent the screen. I will share it here. So the good usages are eventually time-consuming, mere, spectator, reluctant, glitches, constant, vital, fortunate, embrace, overwhelming, pillable, franchisee, accelerated, incorporate, flip-flop, prophecy, slack out, boredom, eternal, reconcile, vehemently, counter-argument, disheartening, dejected, auspicious, gruesome, expeditious, summit, entitled, indispensable, inhibition, on the spur of the moment. There are few incorrect usages. They are according to me. Instead of that, we can use in my opinion. Chosen was mispronounced. And effective coaching, it's an effective coaching. One of her own creation, one of her own creations. Bless in disguise. So few mispronunciations given. Am all ears. It was mispronounced. That's it. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sridevi, for that. Let me rush my report. I'm just seeing this particular preparation, how this is going. People, all the role players beautifully, actively worked, and very small things. There was a lot of corrections is happening in the group. The group was continuously buzzing. I appreciate all the role players for the effort which they have put on for this particular joint meeting. And most importantly, the meeting started on time. When we were chit-chatting, and then the surgeon at arms very clearly said, "Hey, look, we need to start." And the meeting started on time. A big kudos for that. And a little lag happened in one of the session. If the TMOD, the VPEs, and then the TMOD can just have a look and then exactly get into that particular stakeholder and then ask why we are just going lag, it will be much more easier. We can just prevent this particular lag, and so that we need not have to cut on anything else. One improvement alone I can just give in the meeting is in recent days we stopped saying the Toastmasters name, speaker name, and then the title and then the speaker. It is sort of becoming a lost practice in most of the meetings wherever I see. So the TMOD, when you call for the speaker, you call the speaker, you will call the evaluator, and then you will call the speaker, and then before calling the speaker, you'll just say the speaker name, title, and then the speaker name. It's easier. Otherwise, speakers comes with a big speech title that never gets mentioned. This is not only this meeting, especially in most of the meetings is happening. If the VP can just insist the TMOD on that, it will be much more easier in future meetings. Otherwise, the meeting is beautiful. We are going on to an extent. We should go on time. Over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, General Evaluator Kalyan. Moving on to the final session, we have Medley means surprise. So we have some surprise session, and to conduct the surprise session, we have the module master, Toastmaster Rosa from Dynamic Leaders Forum. She was an assistant professor a few years ago, but currently a full-time mother and homemaker. She likes reading and loves to learn dance. So before I call her on stage, I would request the Zoom master to initiate the voting button that will help the process at the back end. So over to you, Toastmaster Rosa. Yeah, the voting is ready. Just go ahead and then complete this and then we'll get started. Yeah, go ahead, Rosa.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, for the introduction. So I know we are running short of time, so I'll quickly introduce what this session is going to be. This is going to be a quizzing session wherein I have prepared some questions by listening keenly to this particular meeting. So it will be kind of a recap and also a test for you all. The answers will be one word. You just need to switch on your mic and tell your answer. Even you can use a chat window also. Okay, so shall I start the session? Yeah. So the first question, all of you be ready. According to the in opening speech, who is the collector bro? The name of the collector bro. Nobody?
Prashant?
Yes, IAS officer Prashant Nair. Very good. So going to the next question. Okay, what did TMOD compare the speech session to? I doubt whether he himself remember it. It was compared to a, can I say? Is there any answers in the chat window? He compared it to a roller coaster ride. Yeah. So the next question. How many clubs did DTM Thomas T. Abraham sir guide when pathways were introduced? And in which year? Ten minus 2, 8. Am I right? Yes, year is 2018. Correct. So going to the next question. According to the second speaker, Toastmaster Satya Agila, what is to be done when you come across a problem? So I need the last phrase that she used to conclude her speech. Dash it, dash it.
Fix it or fly away, something.
Fix it is correct. That's the second part.
Someone else said face it.
Face it. Yes. Face it, fix it. Correct. Now, next question. Third speaker, Toastmaster Sri Devi. She was the class teacher for which class?
UKG.
UKG?
B. UKG B.
UKG C. Okay. Yeah, I give it to you. So then, next one. The car that was parked at the shoulder of the road. Which car was that?
Santro.
Correct answer. Next one. It is in your moments of decision that your destiny is made. Whose quote is this?
Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins. Correct. Then next one more in the similar fashion. Do not destroy my enemies do I not destroy my enemies when I make them my friends? Who said this?
Lincoln.
Abraham Lincoln. Thank you. With that, I conclude my session.
Wow, very good. Thank you, Toastmaster Rosa. I think this shows like very few people are only actively participating, and it shows that we have to resume back to normal session. Only who are active in the videos are able to answer it. Okay, I would like to conclude. Hope you all enjoyed the session. A lot of key takeaways, and it's a great session, joint meeting, and we also achieved our goal. You also achieved your goal. Before I wrap up, I would like to tell that about this theme to plan to spend a lot of your time doing what you love. You are in control of your own happiness. With this, I would like to call our Dynamic Leaders Forum presiding officer to conclude the session. She is Dr. Aswati Rajan, Charter President of Dynamic Leaders Forum Toastmasters Club from D District 120. She's a former scientist and a principal of a CBSE school. Looks like very strict, I believe. Currently running Success E-Learning Center. She is also part of Division H and District 120 PR team. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much for that introduction, sir. Your work is going to fill a large part of your life. And the only way to be truly satisfied, or rather truly happy, is to do what you believe will make you happy. And that's the only way to love what you do. That was actually said by Steve Jobs. What a beautiful perspective. Thank you so much, TMOD Toastmaster Ramesh, for this amazing theme for today's meeting. There will be multiple irritants, multiple people criticizing you, but no matter what, don't take your eyes off from your goal and don't let go of your inner happiness. Remember, a ship does not sink because it is surrounded by ocean. It sinks only if it lets water in. And who else can do that better than Toastmasters? We know what to do and how to do. And not only this, we know how to get happiness and how to transform ourselves in a better way. And today, this joint meeting was one such amazing event. It was a confluence of two entirely different teams. One, 611 meetings old advanced club, and the other just 34 meetings old baby club. And this is the beauty of Toastmasters. So let's hear for the spirit of Toastmasters. So before I invite our guests for feedback, I would like to congratulate DTM Thomas for completing his path and also express our sincere gratitudes for inspiring all of us and sharing pearls of wisdom with all of us. Thank you so much. So with that, now, before I call our guests, it is time to announce the results. It was an amazing meeting, and believe me, it's not about winning or losing. Here we are enjoying whatever we are doing, so we all are winners. So saying that the best speaker of the day is none other than the showman, distinguished Toastmaster Thomas. The best evaluator is Toastmaster Jagannathan. And the best table topic speaker is Toastmaster Sundareshan. The best role player of the day is our dynamic table topic master, DTM Manju K. Manohar. And the best tag role player is Toastmaster Sharanya, the timer of the day. Congratulations to all the winners and all the other role players and amazing speakers of the day. So with interest of time, I would like to ask only one guest for the feedback. Anyone, may I ask guest Ronnie, would you like to give the feedback? Or guest Venkata Seshan, sir, would you like to give feedback?
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for that. The session was really wonderful, and the way the table talk topic session was conducted, it was really creative, and it was very encouraging and very much involved. So I would like to thank everyone who has made it possible today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for that wonderful feedback. So with that, now we have come to the closure of this amazing event. So I request once again to all the guests and our wonderful Toastmasters to please switch on your videos for a quick photograph. Thank you so much. So with that, I hereby adjourn this meeting. Stay happy and stay safe. And see you all next week, same time. Just a small correction. On Saturdays for Medley and on Sundays for Dynamic Leaders Toastmasters Club, Forum Toastmasters Club.
Thank you.
Till then, bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ashwati. Just a small to all Medlians that we have a business session after this, so request you all to stay.
Like saying the drill is over, then you say, class A, you have your extra classes. Come along.
Exactly.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much for the meeting.
It was very enjoyable. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Dr.
thank you
Ashwati.
so much, sir. Thank you.
Seriously, the oodles of energy you brought. This is what I find. I mean, I've always seen this club. They are a young club. Young also means that, but they are scholarly young club. So I've noticed their work, what they do. So I'm not bringing any words of flattery. Lovely, and also that the last, even that listening part, it was done with energy and verve, I thought. So compliments to you.
Thank you so much, sir. That
Thank you
means
so
a
much.
lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll leave you to your business meeting. We are going to have a party.
Thank you.
Virtual party?
Virtual party.
We used to have a long chat session after the meeting, but unfortunately today we have a business session that got carried over from the previous one last week. We just need to finish 2-3 topics. So just wanted apologies for that.
Sir, Kalyan, I'm very sorry. I have to drop off. I have something lined up.
Kalyan, without you, there is no debate, Kalyan.
Yeah.
I just said that.
Jagan, I'm giving my back and both my votes to Jagan.
Okay.
Over to
No,
you, Jagan.
That's one side. You need another side, no?
That's what I told you. Jagan. Okay, sir, I have to drop out.
Sure.
Okay.
Good observations, Kalyan. Good observations.
Thank the VP and Ranga sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was enjoyable. Thank you very much.
So it looks like we will only be 5 to 10 people.
Exactly. Yeah, that is exactly true. Because
so Medlians thought the school bell for everyone.
I think Dinesh also has. I need to get Dinesh back.
2 points, Raghu. One, what's the time you are given?
It's 5 o'clock.
Then we are fine. Then we can go ahead. Then no problem.
We have given it as 5 o'clock.
Then fine.
In my email, it is mentioned as 5. I just need Dinesh back because he needs to induct Venkatesh.
Yes.
Venkat, can you call because my call is not going to Dinesh.
I'll call, but please give me a few minutes. I will have to come back.
No, do me a favor then to save time. If you'll allow me a screen share, I can start with my part if you like.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead. I'll call Dinesh by the. So we today we have anyway 9 members. The key topic for today that we need to have is induction of Venkateshan.
Venkateshan.
Statement. Venkateshan. And budget for the next year.
Just bear with me for a few minutes. I will be back in exactly 5 minutes. Thank you.
Thomas, just 1 minute. There is someone else as a backup whose the name is dynamic. Manju is in another, she is connected in another device. Is it okay? We can go ahead with this?
No, I think we'll have to tell her to drop. Point. Infosys friends, you can do that, no?
Good counter, sir.
I think
president can do that.
I think we will ask because she's a co-host. I think we can ask Sharanya to
real leadership.
Politely say that please,
Real leadership in action. I can see.
Because I'm not a host to pull her. I don't have that thing. Sharanya, can you pull her out?
Sure, I'll talk to her first and then I'll just.
That's brilliant.
No, she said she's dropping. I think this is from her another device.
So now it's only members. Now it's only members.
Yeah. Can I just call Dinesh because he needs to do the induction?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, sir. You can have your
screen share. I don't have.
Yeah, you have the screen share.
Yes, sir. Somebody else is. This will stop the screen sharing.
Sharanya, can you make him the co-host?
Yeah, I got it. Okay. May I, President, with your permission, may I start?
Yes, sir. Yes,
sir. Please take care of the legalities of minutes. I mean, of quorum, etc. I only want to summarize now that we have time. Last time was a mad hurry. There are 2 people I would like to thank, and I want it on record. One, Sharanya, for the first time, finished most of the accounts ready in the month of December. It's a new record for Medley. Then, again, this is the first time that she was guided very well by Shankar, who again in express, in very short time, he finished the auditing. And I just wanted to, it's only fair I give you his summary. He says that you can read it. May I go to the next, right? May I go to the next slide? Is it read already?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So the last slide, he talks about some of the improvements required. Broadly, I'll tell you what it is. We just now have got Sugandhi's committee finalizing some things. So those that he has given, we could not implement because those came mid-course. So here onwards, we will definitely, the new committee, the new, incidentally, the same treasurer. So she would complete that from the next term onwards. We couldn't do that because mid-term it came through. There is nothing else to say about this except allow me to go to the, basic slide. Or since you have already seen, do you want me to go through this again? Okay. Yeah, here goes. We know that we started with the bank balance. Hello?
Are you sharing the screen, sir? We don't see any.
Okay, thank you. Good. Yes, visible now? Yeah, thank you. Simple, only one sentence. We started with a bank balance of 3.80. We ended December 31st, 2020 with a bank balance of 5.52. A healthy growth of 1.72, roughly something like that. That's one. Then allow me to come to, allow me to come to the basic statement, which in fact I had already made last time, but Shankar was talking. That's when this got stopped. I was proposing, the committee had, the previous committee had suggested that on account of the surplus of 1.78 lakhs, we return 1,000 rupees each to each of the members at the time of renewal. This was the, in advance we had circulated this notice. We need to vote on this and defeat the proposal or accept the proposal. So I offer this. Do you want me to read it again?
Do you want me to create a voting link, sir?
No, let us see.
No, it has to be proposed and spoken by.
Just one observation. Since most of us are ExCom members, one person, either Jagannathan or Mr. Sundaresan, they have to propose it and second it only.
Correct.
Okay.
I propose it, sir. I propose it for that money we mentioned by Toastmaster Thomas.
Thank you.
Sir, but before seconding it, could you tell me from how much? 1,000 I understand. 1,000, which is, let's say 45 people are renewing. So which means we are saying that we have a 45,000 surplus. How are we dividing that money?
Yeah. Perfect. No, it's like this. Kindly, 1 second. I'll share the screen. No, only to save time. Maybe I rushed it because
last time, sorry to interrupt, last time Shankar was mentioning 2,000.
I know. See, I had presented this, very simple. Kindly consider it this way. We had an unusual income of net income of 1.1 lakh from Speechcraft. That's unusual. Overall, I mentioned to you that we only spend 16,000 rupees. I mean, I'll give you some time to get acclimatized to, see, this is the excess of income over expenditure is 1.78 lakhs. Out of this 1.78 lakhs, notionally, 1.1 lakh came from net, came from Speechcraft. So we are left with roughly 68,000 rupees. Out of that 68,000 rupees, it could be argued both ways, there's no finality, that 9 people who came last year, they paid at the rate of 2,000 rupees. So 18,000 rupees is on account of that. Even if you keep aside that 18,000, you still have 50,000 rupees. Simple thing. You know how much money we have collected, we know it. We only spent 16,000 rupees. 16,000 rupees for 45 members means 350 rupees. How much is that? So don't we morally feel obliged to return the fund? So I am considering this amount. Shankar was talking about parting with part of the Speechcraft funding. The problem with that is we have still not decided what to do with the surplus. We are still dithering there. And with a small group like this, I don't suggest we change the amount from the resolution that was already given in the notice of rupees 1,000. It's my personal view.
I completely agree with you, Thomas, sir, because we should not, since we are still working on how that surplus need to be done, and also the this term when we having a chance of going into online or a hybrid meeting, the expense will go triple, or it's almost close to which I will share the budget. So it is better to keep that particular buffer assets. And this 1,000 rupees, since it is coming exactly from that amount of amount that each Toastmasters has paid,
correct.
It is good that we give them back when they renew. And it is not just that we are giving back, We are giving it when they renew. So eventually, with almost like 500 that I was proposing for the early bird, we're actually giving a discount of 1,500 in the next term when it comes in. So I completely agree with that particular thing, and it's
yeah, but
okay.
Jagan, you asked the question. What's your comfort?
Sir, I agree with you. So when you said, I wanted to know how much money are we parting from the surplus.
Yeah.
So it is assuming close to 50,000. You have also reasoned that this 50,000 has come from members who are renewing and not new members who have paid the 2,000 rupees.
Correct.
That is different. So in that case, the 50,000 is equitably shared among people. And I agree. I second that proposal then.
Sure.
Because I am before closing this now, Shankar's argument of including the surplus of speechcraft as well, but I'm not privy to that discussion. As Raghu and XCOM people would know the immense hard work that goes into budgeting, they have to budget it with the surplus in mind. So in that case, I agree with that, saying that 1,000 rupees we are giving it back. I second that suggestion there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's minute it with, because why? Because after all this, for want of small numbers, they should not become null and void. In fact, therefore, Raghu, I suggest to you that we propose that the current numbers available be taken as quorum.
Exactly. Because it has been addressed,
so
and
please
we take this current as quorum.
Formally, kindly consider that as the first action of this meeting.
Yes.
Thank you. And second is my making this proposition and the two members, proposing and seconding it. Thank you. This closes this subject. Thank you. Is Venkat there? Sorry, please take over, Raghu. Thank you.
Yeah. So Venkat, Sharanya, I would want you to take Venkat into a separate room for a few seconds so that we get the resolution passed for taking the new members. And we can bring him back immediately after that and do the induction.
Has Mr. Venkatesan been briefed about it?
Yes. Okay. So Venkat, so it is as a guest who will become a member. Let me brief you that as per the Toastmaster International, we have to get the members agreed with you becoming a member of Toastmaster, any Toastmaster club. So we need to have a similar proposition done and then bring you into the as a member. So I would request Sharanya to take him to a breakout room, and we will make him back once it is being agreed in the forum.
Kindly excuse us, Mr. Venkatesan.
Yeah, understood.
Okay, so Venkat is moved to breakout room.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much,
Sharanya.
And we have someone to propose. I think Venkatesan sir has left.
Yeah, well,
Suresh sir has left. Right?
Okay.
I would propose the name of Venkat as to be admitted as a member into Medley's Toastmasters Club. He has attended 8 meetings.
8 meetings, exactly.
Yes.
And
I second it.
Maybe Jagan.
Yeah, correct.
It's not just customary, but I wanted to know, shouldn't the VPM do this? It's the
No,
VPM,
it is as a customary, either president or VPM can do it.
Okay, well, because in the, sorry to interrupt, Ranga, in the PPT, the bylaws, it specifically mentioned the VPN.
No, let me share that with you. This is the induction. So it is a customary for the club president or vice president membership to induct new members. If you can see the screen.
Okay.
Dinesh was supposed to join Jagan. He is not able to connect. I just called him.
Yeah, and I tried reaching out to him too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or it can be performed by any of the senior Toastmaster.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So let's stay with what we have the chosen line. Sure.
Yeah. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jagan.
So
can we bring him back?
Yeah. So Thomas proposes and
I second.
Yeah. Thank you. So now we can bring him. And Sharanya, can you get him back?
Venkat is in now.
Yeah, I'm here.
Venkatesh Seshan, welcome back. Fellow Toastmasters, it's now our duty and privilege to induct Toastmasters Venkateshan into the Medley Toastmasters Club. This is really an important occasion, both Venkateshan and for our club. Venkateshan have come to Toastmasters seeking to improve their communication and leadership, and we now have an opportunity to